Hello there. First of all, thank you for giving Dungeon Crawl 94 a try. I really appreciate you taking the time to play something I've spent a long time creating. Let's start with one of the most important parts of the game, the scrolling text box. Almost everything the game wants to tell you appears here. Reading signs, finding treasure, discovering secrets, combat messages, status effects. It's all reported through this window. If the message is too... Now let's take a look at your inventory. On the right side of your screen, you'll see a bag tab. Open it up and you'll find everything you've collected on your adventure. Selecting an item doesn't immediately use it. Instead, it opens a menu. One way that Dungeon Crawl 94 is a little different is the way vision works. Your character can't always see everything where they are standing. Walls, trees, buildings, and other objects can block the line of sight. If something seems hidden, or you think there's more to a room that meets the eye, try moving around and looking from another angle. Okay, let's talk about status effects. Different terrains can affect your character in different ways. Walking through water, for example, slows your movement speed. Whenever something like this happens, the scrolling text will let you know. If you would like more details, open your stats tab. On the far right side, you'll see every active status effect along with exactly which of your attributes is being increased or decreased. It's a good habit to check these whenever something feels a little different. This room teaches one of the most important mechanics of the entire game, turns. Notice that tempting treasure chest sitting out in the middle of the lava. Lava isn't an instant death, but every turn you spend standing in it hurts. Look at the turn counter at the bottom right corner of your screen. Almost everything you do consumes a turn. Walking, opening chests, picking up loot, even changing equipment. So reaching that chest may cost a lot more health than you first expected. Sometimes the smartest decision isn't asking, can I reach it? It's asking, is it worth it? Now let's learn a little bit about magic. Those books on the ground are spell books. Walk over there and interact with them to attempt to learn each spell. After you learn one, open the magic tab. Across the top you'll see spell slots. Select a spell and this will open up a menu that will allow you to prepare for casting. When a spell is ready, several things will happen. Your character will begin to glow with magical energy. Your cursor will change, reminding you that you are preparing a spell instead of making a normal attack. And here is a useful trick. Press the grid button in the top left corner of your screen. You'll see exactly how far your spells can reach. Learn to judge your spell range is one of the best ways. Some spells work a little differently. If you picked up the light spell in the last room, go ahead and get it ready. Instead of targeting an enemy, click on yourself. If the grid is still enabled, you'll notice your attack range becomes 0. That's a simple reminder that the spell is meant to be cast on yourself. Before heading into battle, it is always a good idea to make sure you've prepared the spell you actually intend to use, and do not underestimate light. It does much more than just simply brighten dark rooms. Experiment with it as you explore. It's a good time to take a look at your action button. It's the button on the left side of your screen that looks like a pickaxe. From here you can perform useful survival actions, like a short rest or building a campfire. Most actions require materials, which you have probably already collected. Merchants can also sell you many of these supplies. Building a campfire means you found a safe place to settle down. Clicking the campfire unlocks additional options, such as taking a long rest, saving your game, and crafting. Crafting is something you definitely want to experiment with as you continue your adventure. And remember, if something doesn't work the way that you expected, check your scrolling text box. It usually explains why an action succeeded or why it failed. One last thing, campfires do not last forever. Once you move away from them, they're gone. So you'll need to build another one before those options become available again. That is it. You've completed the tutorial.
The road home was never meant to feel so long. There was a time when it passed beneath lighter steps, when the turn ahead meant warmth and voices and a door that would always open. But that was before the silence took hold of things. They say a man knows when something is wrong long before he sees it, in the way the wind carries no sound, in the way the trees stand too still as if they are listening or waiting. That day, the forest had gone quiet. No birds called, No insects stirred. Even the road itself seemed to hesitate. He walked it anyway. There are some roads a man takes not because he hopes, but because he must know. Steel rested easy in his hand. Not drawn in panic. No, nothing so clumsy as that, but held the way a man holds something he has come to trust more than his own thoughts. There was weight in him, not fear, something colder, something that had already begun to settle. The bend came into view. Just beyond it, there should have been rooftops. There should have been smoke rising. There should have been something. But the forest did not give way so easily. A sound broke the stillness. Small, sharp, close. It is a curious thing. How quickly a moment can change its nature. One breath, a man walks the road. The next, the road no longer belongs to him. They step through the trees as though they had always been there. One, then another, and more besides. Not desperate men, not hungry. No, these wore their intent plainly. They had chosen that place, chosen that moment, and perhaps they believed they had chosen the man. There are many kinds of travelers on a lonely road. Some who wander, some who flee, and some who return. He did not speak at first. There is no need in such moments. The air tightens on its own. Steel finds its place. And the truth of a man reveals itself in what he does next. The circle closed. Boots pressed into dirt. Hands tightened on hilts. The forest watched. And the road remembered. It would be said later that the bandits thought they had found an easy mark. Men often believe such things. They are often wrong. Because some men do not come back from loss as they were. Some return quieter, heavier, and when the time comes, they do not hesitate. There are moments a man believes he is prepared for. Moments he has walked toward in his mind 100 times, imagining what he might say, what he might do, how he might stand when the time finally came. But the truth of a thing rarely matches the shape of it in memory. The road did not end at the bend. It ended in smoke. What stood ahead was not a town. Not as it had been. The rooftops were there, yes, but broken, blackened, some still smoldering as though the fire had only just passed through. The air carried it plainly now. Ash, and something worse beneath it. The gates hung open, one side torn free, the other leaning, as though it had tried in its own way to hold. There are places a man knows without thinking, places where his feet remember the path, even when his mind refuses to follow. He stepped forward, not quickly, not recklessly, but with a certainty that could not be turned aside. There were signs, struggle, drag marks through the dirt. Doors broke inward, others left wide as if whatever had come did not bother to close them again. And then, movement. Small shapes, quick, jagged. They moved between what remained of the buildings like shadows that had learned to walk. Goblins. More than a few, more than any one man was meant to face alone. He did not turn away. Some men might have. Some would have gone to ground, waited for the right moment, chosen survival over certainty. But there are things a man does not weigh. Not when it is his home. Steel came free. There was no shout, no warning, only the forward step, only the decision. And then, nothing. It is said that the body knows danger before the mind can name it. A shift in the air, a sound misplaced, a presence just out of sight. The strike came from behind, heavy, deliberate. There was no time to turn, no time to answer it. Only a single jarring moment where the world broke its shape and went dark. Time passes differently for a man laid low. It stretches, folds, slips between memory and silence. When he woke, the world had already moved on without him. The smoke had thinned, the fires had settled into dull, glowing ruin, and the town was quiet again. He lay where he had fallen, or perhaps where he had been left. It is difficult to say. What mattered was what remained, or rather, what did not. His armor was gone, his pack, his coin, his blade, taken. Not in haste, but with purpose, stripped clean, left with little more than breath, and whatever strength had not yet abandoned him. There's a cruelty in that. To kill a man is simple. To leave him, that is a choice. He rose slowly. The body remembers pain, even when the mind refuses to dwell on it. The streets offered no answers. No voices called out, no footsteps followed, only absence. And then, the door creaked. Not wide, not bold, just enough. Eyes watched through shadow, then another, and another still. Those who had hidden, those who had endured by remaining unseen. They came forward carefully as though the danger might return if named too loudly, and in their silence something worse than fear, recognition. They had seen this before. Or perhaps they had expected it. Words came slowly, measured, spoken as though each one carried weight. The creatures had come fast, taken what they could, taken who they could, and when they left, they had not gone back the way they came. No, they had gone toward the mountains, toward the dark places beneath them, toward the old paths that should have remained forgotten. There were no bodies for many, no signs of struggle left behind, only the empty spaces where people had been, and the knowing that absence does not always mean death. Somewhere, beneath stone and shadow, Something had begun, and whether it was hope or something far worse, there was only one way to find out. So the road ended, and the descent began.
Bitte mo na iwag. Müssen wir lärms? 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 Bitte mo na iwag.
Apa godagan?
Bitte mo na iwag. Müssen wir lärms? Speaking about you, nothing. Bitte mo na iwag. Missing Mike in the lambs. Missing Mike in the lambs.